So this is Boomtown. It's at the Western Development Museum, and it really closely resembles what a 1910 start of town of Saskatoon was like back in the day. And it's a really interesting place. They actually fit a small town, lifelike town, inside a big building. And it goes over the struggles and the way of life that it was back in that time period. Lots of historical photos, lots of historical artifacts, machinery. Shows the way people lived. Yeah. Indigenous farmstead. Really small little homes back in that time period. And that was made for a reason. Kinds of different cultures came into Saskatoon. Religious backgrounds. And of course, back in that time, death was pretty prominent. Lots of deadly diseases, hardships that took out a lot of people. So it was kind of normalized in a lot of ways. That's what a hearse looks like, carriage. And of course, during World War I, there was a wheat for war going on, so they really needed to step up the food producing program to help feed the soldiers who went to war. Fur and trading and trapping and that's that old house there. It's like built out of thatch and mud brick, and very interesting. Get to see what it's like inside a small little house like that back in the day. Very simple. A little stove, a little table, cupboards, stuff to put your pots and pans, table, and a little bedroom there. Too bad we can't go inside the whole place, but you get a sense of what it was like. And this mannequin here is really creepy in some ways because it looks so lifelike, especially the hands. Has all kinds of, like every little wrinkle a hand would have, and the nails and everything else. It's almost like a person was captured in time. And this is Blue Monday, apparently. Apparently that was a wash day. And as you can tell, washing back in that time period was pretty tough. It was an all-day venture, especially when it came to drying clothes when it was cold outside. It'd take a few days. Some old photos. Farm life. And of course, because of the wheat for war, companies were coming out with these more faster, better, and smaller tractors, especially when it came to trying to distribute them across Saskatchewan and be more affordable, just to help make more food for the war front. You got your Ford Sun, McCormick, Deering tractor, and the iconic John Deere with its colors green and yellow. And as you can tell, these tractors, they all had like metal wheels back then. Case tractor. So there's a number of different companies that were making these types of machineries for farmers. Really old, but well built though, you know? Like they don't make things like they used to. Very tough. Not sure what that is. Stuker, what it's for. And then you got your stationary engines, which can be utilized to run a lot of things on your homestead. You know, lots of, gatherings and everything else to celebrate wheat and what you're growing. Fairs and everything else. Cattle. And there'd be prizes for the best. Medals. There's this little model depicting on what you can do to help stop breeding places for flies. Because, flies, I guess, carry diseases and they cause lots of problems. There's an old, interesting Singer sewing machine. My grandmother had one of those in her basement. That's like what a old battery would look like to help power certain things like stationary engines, among other things. Things that made life easier, so they say. And here's some foods, different types of herbs and vegetables, and some arrowheads. Some pony races. Sedan. Funhouse. Lots of creepy noises coming out of there. Didn't know if Max would like going into that place. I love historical photos, entering into the Depression era, of course, and there's the building of the Besborough with all the workers there, the one that stands in Saskatchewan. Lots of other big mega structures like bridges and all this other stuff are being made. You can actually sit in that car. I didn't try it, but maybe next time. It'd be kind of neat to see what it feels like to drive an old car like that. And here's a iconic Robin Hood flour mill. And here's a bigger sized home would look like. Too bad I couldn't go upstairs to see the bedrooms, but I guess maybe during a private tour you might be able to. But more modernized looking kitchen, cast iron stove, other amenities like an actual phone, and record player of some kind, or music player, vanity, couch, chair. It's hardwood floors. And this is just depicting what it's like from iron tires on tractors to the more rubberized ones. Now we're getting a little bit more modern. Really interesting seeing these old photos. Really takes, you can really take a lot of time just looking at every one of them. Of course, men marching off to war. Heroines doing their part in the war effort. You don't see too many of those around anymore. School bus. Yeah, way back in the day, poor kids had to pretty much walk miles to school. Now they got a school bus. Studebaker, old combine, but machines are getting better, more bigger to handle more work. Tractors are getting more built better and bigger, and you can see the rubber tires on that one. More modernized medicine. I think that's the one. That's the flying ambulance up there. And of course we enter into more and more modern time periods. Farmers are getting bigger outfits to work and run, and bigger machines now. Everything's just getting bigger and bigger. Bigger combines that can handle more. Supersized seeders, as they call them, to seed the lands. Huge cattle or livestock ranches, and a growing world that needs to be fed. It really touches on the indigenous culture and treaties and what they had to go through too as well. Here's an interesting film that they showed over there, a little theater style setting. It's really interesting watching these old cuts of what it was like to farm and live back in the days to the modern times. Really was a lot of work to toil the land back then. People worked long hours, long days. We went through some insufferable winters. People were strong. Here's some more items here that I remember growing up too as well, seeing in some of my family's homes. Chinese checkers, as I call it. Some toys, models. Of course, that was the time period where they really started making some really, really cool muscle cars too as well. That we all know and love today. Rotary Telephone. Well, I remember having those when I was a kid. No such thing as cell phones. A lot of kids today wouldn't even know what to do with that rotary phone. Radio. I was born in 75, so that tells you how old I am. Old cameras. Fondue pot. What's that? I don't know. Raggedy Ann dolls. Bicycles. Clothing, what they wore back then. What is that? Some kind of record player or cassette. Huge, mega portable camera, probably weighed a ton. Oh, look, and then there's the iconic Cabbage Patch Kid dolls. Remember those being a big rage for young kids back when I was young. Portable computer, probably weighed a ton. Board games. Toys. What is that? Barney. Sesame Street characters. Other toys. A ginormous calculator, apparently. One of the, what is that, for a cell phone? Remember having those when I was young. They're the latest thing you can get. Some kind of portable CD player. I like to skip a lot, I'm sure. And then you get your video games, and your cameras, and your flip-top cell phones. Weird looking shoes. It's me and Max, and now we're walking around the actual town itself, depicting stores and stuff, selling lots of knickknacks and gadgets and clocks and watches and all kinds of things. You really smell the history when you're walking into these places. Yeah, and then there's reading glasses, and silverware. salt and pepper shakers, all kinds of things. And then there's the town office. That's what it looks like in the streets and the fire hall. Certain types of material things they used to help fight fires back in the day. And then, of course, portraits were pretty popular back in the day. That's the only way you can really capture your family history or moments. What's this? Some kind of shop, I think. Yep, tires. It's an old motorcycle. What's this? Stationary machines. Some history of the indigenous people. What happened. A little film inside of what a train car looks like, when people were traveling to this weird place called Saskatchewan. It's a funeral place. Styles, like the black, of course, being the main color or shade to wear during grieving time. Some styles for mourning. Coffin. That's what they would carry infants in if they were to pass. It's always awkward and hard to do. This is where you would wash, take your clothes to some washing place. Got wringers and irons. And this is my favorite place here. It's an old school, little chalk plaques that they used to, slats, I guess they called it when they were writing and learning. A little stove, a little water wash-up thing there. This is what the RCMP barracks would look like. I hate to spend the night in that cage. There's their barracks there. Those beds are so tiny looking. A guy like me could not have a good night's sleep in one of those. What's this? A medicine shop? So when you walk in, the smell just almost knocks you out. It's just like really powerful. All kinds of liniments and other ointments and weird mixtures they had back in the day to cure-alls. Yeah, of course they sold other things on the side. School register. Cameras. Now we're heading upstairs into some of the upper floors. Offices. the dentist chair. I hate to spend some time in that. God knows what they use for painkillers. That's what it looks like on one of the balconies overlooking the boomtown. That's pretty cool. And it stretches all the way around. And lots of places to look and discover and take in, you know. Just imagine the noises being made in the streets and the horses and the engines and camping. Look at that camper. Wouldn't fit a guy like me very good. I'd be curled up like in a ball in that bed. I wouldn't be able to stretch out. I guess people were smaller back in the day. Get to see some really cool automobiles here that they had. They just don't make vehicles like this anymore. Like the amazing craftsmanship and I'm not sure what that is. And of course Max's favorite, the model train set here. Like pushing the button there to make it run over and over and over again. There it goes.
Those are goods, right? Delivery over Canada.
Yeah, there was a big push for the railroad to go across Canada. And, you know, the world's getting bigger. The demand for food, the demand for supplies, the demand for everything, distribution all over countrywide was a major must. And, yeah, railroad played the big part in that. Not only transported people, but it transported all kinds of merchandise, goods, wheat, grains, tractors, all kinds of machines. Got things to where they needed to go anyway. That's a bigger model train set for Max to enjoy. More awards of some kind. Trains, models. Didn't want to leave, just wanted to stay and watch the train. That's a weird contraptions. Some kind of snowmobile. Yeah, I guess horses are getting phased out. Some kind of weird contraption that had rubberized tires in the front and steel tires in the back. Wonder how that would work on concrete nowadays.
1927.
Station wagon.
It's so nice.
That's a beauty. Yeah, just a big show of different types of cars, years, manufacturers, makes, models. Some kind of weird flying machine I would never be a test pilot in. Brush on a boat. Imagine seatbelts back in the day weren't a big bother either, so. So there's some more modernized looking vehicles. Weird contraptions, I have no idea what they're for. So gotta take the time next time to really read, you know. Looks like some kind of blimp mobile. I guess we're nearing the end of the clip here, so thanks for joining us, and when you ever come to Saskatoon, come make a stop here. I really enjoy it. So much to see, so much to do, so much to learn.
The first bike.
Yeah, that's like not a bike. It's like one of those things they made to really race in. Go as fast as it can. It's really. I remember that when I was a kid too, seeing reportage on that in the news.
And it's in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, university. Yeah.
University. Who invented it? There's another bike there. It's throwing gas. It's a grocery for
Gift shop.
gift shop.
Alright guys, well, bye for now. Have a great rest of your summer. Alright, take care.